Information means nothing without execution. You can read every book, watch every motivational video, take every course, and still remain exactly where you are if you never translate knowledge into action. People love to collect information because it feels productive. Your mind gets a small hit of satisfaction, like you're preparing for something great. But preparation without movement is just another form of delay. It's easy to say, asterisk, I know what I need to do, asterisk, but knowing is not the problem. The problem is acting on what you already know. There are people who can map out their dreams in perfect detail. They can tell you step by step how to get fit, how to start a business, how to build discipline, how to get out of a toxic cycle. But when it's time to show up, to put in the work, to make the sacrifice, suddenly everything becomes complicated. Suddenly they're tired, busy, distracted, overwhelmed, unsure, afraid. And that's the moment where most dreams die not from lack of knowledge, but from lack of execution. Execution is uncomfortable. It demands you leave the safety of thinking and enter the reality of doing. And doing exposes you. It reveals your weaknesses. It humbles you. It forces you to face the truth that the version of yourself you imagine in your mind has to be earned in real life. And earning it requires effort, commitment, and discipline that can't be downloaded, watched, or read. You have to feel it. You have to live it. Some people wait for the perfect moment. They want the perfect plan. They want every detail to be clear before they take the first step. But perfection is a trap. It convinces you that you're being careful when really you're being controlled by fear. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. You only need the courage to start and the discipline to continue. Execution teaches you more than any book ever will. Once you begin, you learn faster, grow faster, adjust faster, and your confidence rises not from theory but from experience. Execution is also where passion gets tested. Anyone can talk like they want it. Anyone can imagine the lifestyle. But only those who act consistently, especially on the days they don't feel like it, prove they're serious. That's the difference between dreaming and achieving. The doer doesn't wait for motivation. The doer builds momentum through action. They don't say, I know, they show I'm doing. Information gives you direction, but execution gives you transformation. The person who knows less but acts more will always outperform the person who knows everything but does nothing. Every goal, every breakthrough, every success story is built on the foundation of action repeated again and again, not once, not twice, day after day, even when it's not convenient. You already know what you need to do. The real question is whether you'll take that knowledge and move, because your dreams aren't waiting for more information. They're waiting for execution. Comfort kills discipline because comfort makes you believe you have more time than you actually do. It whispers that you can start tomorrow, that you can ease up today, that one skip step won't matter. But discipline doesn't disappear all at once. It slips away slowly, one comfortable choice at a time. You hit snooze once. You skip the workout once. You avoid the difficult conversation once. You let yourself slide once. And before you know it, you've built a habit of choosing what feels good instead of what makes you grow. Comfort is dangerous because it feels harmless. It feels soft, easy, peaceful. But in reality, it's one of the biggest barriers between people and their potential. Most people aren't losing because they don't have talent. They aren't losing because they don't have knowledge. They're losing because comfort has convinced them to stop stretching themselves. Discipline requires discomfort by definition. It asks you to do things your feelings don't agree with. It asks you to show up when you're tired, to keep going when you're bored, to push through when it hurts, and to stay consistent when nobody is watching. Comfort makes you forget why you started. It makes you crave short-term pleasure and ignore long-term purpose. It makes excuses sound reasonable and effort sound optional. Comfort tells you that rest is deserved, even when you haven't earned it. It tells you that you're doing enough, even when deep down you know you're capable of more. It lowers your standards slowly, subtly, quietly. One day you wake up and realize the fire you once had is gone, not because life defeated you, but because comfort seduced you. It convinced you to settle. It convinced you to protect your ego instead of testing your limits. It convinced you to choose familiar over better. Discipline, on the other hand, is built in the moments when you feel like stopping. It lives in the reps you do after you're tired. It lives in the late nights, early mornings, tough decisions, sacrifices, and uncomfortable truths. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't care about how you feel. It only cares about who you're becoming. Comfort cares only about how you feel right now. That's why comfort is temporary, but the consequences are permanent. Comfort gives relief in the moment, but it steals pride, growth, and progress in the long run. Every great achievement demands periods of discomfort. Every transformation requires you to leave the warm space of habits and step into the unknown. But if you spend your life chasing ease, you'll never find mastery. You'll never build resilience. You'll never know what you're actually capable of. Discipline feels painful at first, but it creates strength. Comfort feels pleasant at first, but it creates regret. You don't have to eliminate comfort from your life, but you do have to stop letting it make decisions for you. Discipline builds when comfort is challenged. Every time you choose the harder path, you build a piece of the person you want to be. Every time you reject the easy way, you strengthen your mind. Comfort might feel good today, but discipline creates a life you're proud of tomorrow. Your habits reveal your commitment because your daily actions expose the truth about what you value, no matter what you claim with your words. Anyone can say they want to be great, disciplined, successful, consistent, or transformed. Anyone can talk with passion about their dreams. But your habits tell the real story. They show whether you're serious or just interested, whether you're willing to pay the price or only enjoy the idea of the reward. Habits don't lie. They are the mirror that reflects your priorities, your discipline, and your dedication. If your actions don't match your ambitions, then your habits will always reveal that gap. People often overestimate their intentions and underestimate their patterns. They think wanting something is enough, or they believe motivation will carry them through. But consistency doesn't come from motivation, it comes from habit. Motivation fades, feelings fluctuate, circumstances change, but habits keep you grounded. When something becomes a habit, you don't negotiate with yourself anymore. You don't debate whether you should do it. You don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect day. You show up because it's part of who you are. And that level of consistency is what separates committed people from casual dreamers. Habits are built in small choices. You don't suddenly become disciplined, you become disciplined through the repeated decisions you make daily. Waking up on time, honoring your schedule, practicing your craft, studying even when you're tired, saying no to what distracts you, saying yes to what improves you. Every small act is a brick, and those bricks build the foundation of your future. People want big results, but they forget that big results come from small habits stacked over time. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. If your habits are strong, your future will be strong. Your habits also reveal how badly you really want it. If you say you want to be healthier, but your habits revolve around convenience, comfort, and excuses, then your commitment is to ease, not health. If you say you want success, but you keep procrastinating, scrolling, avoiding, delaying, then your commitment is to comfort, not achievement. Your habits show what you're truly committed to, not what you wish you were committed to. And sometimes that truth is hard to admit, but facing it is the first step toward real growth. The beautiful thing about habits is that they mold your identity. When you repeatedly act a certain way, you start to see yourself as someone who behaves like that. If you consistently push yourself, you begin to see yourself as disciplined. If you consistently honor your responsibilities, you begin to see yourself as reliable. If you consistently choose growth over comfort, you begin to see yourself as resilient. Identity shapes behavior, but behavior also shapes identity. That cycle is powerful. Once you build habits that align with the person you want to become, your entire life starts shifting. So look at your habits honestly. Look at how you spend your mornings, your nights, your free time, your energy, your focus. Your life is built on the things you do repeatedly, not occasionally. Habits are the proof of your commitment, and if you change your habits, you change your future. Adversity exposes who really wants to grow because difficulty has a way of stripping away excuses, ego, and comfort until only the truth remains. When things are easy, anybody can talk confidently about discipline, goals, and dreams. When the path is smooth, everybody looks committed. But when life hits hard, when plans fall apart, when progress slows, when disappointment shows up, that's when you discover who is genuinely committed to growth and who was only interested when it felt convenient. Adversity is the great separator. It reveals the difference between the people who want results and the people who want the process, the people who are willing to fight and the people who are only pretending. Most people love the idea of growth until it requires pain, patience, or uncertainty. They want to improve, but they don't want to be tested. They want strength without struggle, resilience without resistance, elevation without sacrifice. But growth doesn't work that way. Nothing strong is built without pressure. Diamonds don't form without heat. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Character doesn't develop without challenges. Adversity introduces you to the parts of yourself you never knew existed, the parts that only show up when you're forced to dig deeper than comfort allows. When adversity arrives, some people break down, but others break through. Some people quit because they think difficulty means they're failing, while others push harder because they understand difficulty means they're evolving. Growth-minded people don't run from adversity, they use it. They look at pressure as a teacher. They look at setbacks as feedback. They look at challenges as opportunities to sharpen their mindset and prove their commitment. They know growth is hidden in the moments that feel heavy, and they refuse to let adversity intimidate them into staying the same. Adversity also exposes your motives. If you're chasing something for the wrong reasons, approval, validation, status, attention, then adversity will make you quit. Because when things get tough, superficial motivation collapses. But when you're chasing something because it means something to your soul, because it aligns with who you want to become, because it represents your purpose, adversity won't stop you. It will fuel. You won't be discouraged by the process. You'll be strengthened by it. There is a moment in every journey where you have to decide whether you're going to surrender to difficulty or rise because of it. You can complain or you can commit. You can hide or you can grow. You can let the adversity break you down, or you can let it break something open within you. Growth doesn't come from what goes right. It comes from how you respond when everything goes wrong. It comes from the days you want to stop but choose to continue. It comes from the storms you survive, not the sunshine you enjoy. Adversity isn't there to destroy you. It's there to reveal you. And the people who truly want to grow are the ones who keep showing up, keep fighting, keep learning, and keep moving forward, especially when it's hard. Consistency beats motivation because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary, unpredictable, and unstable. One day you wake up energized, ready to take on the world. The next day you wake up tired, stressed, or distracted. If your progress depends on how you feel, you'll never build anything long-lasting. Motivation comes and goes, but consistency is what carries you through the days when your mind and emotions aren't cooperating. Consistency is the honest work you put in when nobody's watching, nobody's clapping, and nobody's cheering. It's the quiet grind that builds strength, skill, and character over time. Motivation is good for starting, but consistency is what finishes the race. Anyone can be motivated for a day or a week. Anyone can make promises when the hype is high and the energy is fresh. But when the excitement fades, when the routine gets boring, when progress slows down, that's when consistency becomes your anchor. Because success doesn't come from doing things occasionally. It comes from doing the right things repeatedly. It's built in the patterns you follow, not the bursts of passion you feel. Consistency isn't glamorous. It doesn't give you instant results or dramatic moments. It requires doing simple things every day, training, studying, practicing, improving, showing up over and over without expecting applause. That's why it's powerful. It teaches discipline. It teaches patience. It teaches you how to carry yourself even when the reasons to continue feel small. And over time, consistency compounds. What feels small today becomes unstoppable in a year. What feels slow today becomes mastery in the future. Motivation makes you believe you need to feel ready before you act. Consistency teaches you to act whether you feel ready or not. Motivation questions your mood. Consistency questions your commitment. Motivation waits for the perfect moment. Consistency creates progress out of imperfect moments. And the truth is, most days won't feel perfect. You won't feel inspired every morning. You won't feel powerful every night. But if you rely on consistency, I don't need perfect days. You only need discipline to keep moving. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who doesn't quit, someone who honors their word. That identity becomes fuel. It becomes confidence. It becomes momentum. And momentum is more valuable than motivation because momentum keeps you going even when motivation disappears. People often look at successful individuals and assume they must always be motivated. But in reality, they are consistent, not constantly inspired. They choose the hard thing again and again until it becomes normal. They understand that motivation may spark the flame, but consistency keeps the fire burning long after the spark is gone. If you want real change, don't chase motivation. Build consistency. Because motivation might get you started, but consistency is what transforms you. It's what shapes your habits, sharpens your skills, strengthens your mindset, and pushes you beyond what you thought possible. In the end, consistency will take you farther than motivation ever could. Your future depends on the choices you make today, because every decision you take, no matter how small, becomes a thread that weaves the fabric of your life. People often think the big moments determine their destiny, but in reality, it's the daily choices, those quiet, repetitive, almost invisible decisions that shape who you become. The future isn't something that suddenly appears. It's built piece by piece through your actions, your discipline, your mindset, and your sacrifices. Every choice you make today is either moving you closer to the life you want or pulling you deeper into the life you're trying to escape. Most people underestimate the power of right now. They assume they have time. They think they can fix things later, start later, commit later, get serious later. But later doesn't build anything, today does. The habits you practice today become the lifestyle you live tomorrow. The effort you put in today becomes the results you experience tomorrow. If you make choices rooted in fear, laziness, procrastination, and excuses, then your future will reflect those same patterns. But if you start choosing discipline, responsibility, courage, and effort, then your future will reward you with opportunities that you earned. Your choices also reveal what you truly value. If you choose comfort over growth, your future will be comfortable but stagnant. If you choose distraction over focus, your future will be filled with unfinished goals. If you choose blame over accountability, your future will repeat the same mistakes. But if you choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable, your future expands. If you choose discipline, even when it's difficult, your future strengthens. If you choose to take responsibility for your life, your future becomes something you consciously shape instead of something that just happens to you. The truth is, your future self is depending on you right now. The person you're becoming is watching your decisions. And one day, you're going to meet that future version of yourself. You will either meet someone you're proud of or someone you regret creating. You'll either look back and say, I'm grateful I made those choices, or you'll say, I wish I had tried harder. The choices you make today decide which of those moments you will experience. Small choices matter just as much as big ones. Choosing to wake up on time, choosing to study instead of scroll, choosing to train instead of procrastinate, choosing to save instead of waste, choosing to speak truth instead of hiding, choosing to push forward when quitting feels easier. These choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but they accumulate. Over time, they turn into habits, and habits turn into a lifestyle, and a lifestyle turns into your future reality. Every choice compounds positively or negatively. People often wait for motivation, clarity, or the perfect plan before making the right choices. But your life doesn't change when everything becomes easy. It changes when you choose what's right, even when it's difficult. Your future won't be shaped by luck or hope. It will be shaped by the decisions you commit to right now. So be intentional, be aware, be disciplined, because your future is built today, not someday.